Buddy, welcome to this special evening. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, if you're hearing me loud and clear, just type strength in the chat. Just type in strength in the chat if you're hearing me loud and clear. Let me know where you're calling in from as well. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Okay, great. Great to have you on. Wow. I hope you guys are excited as I am, because we're going to have something beautiful today. Vermont, welcome, Vermont. Barbados is in the building. Cork is here. Bolton, Canada is in the building. Sweet T&T is here. Welcome. Cleveland, Ohio, Bromley, Nigeria, Durban in South Africa. Strength. Ah, yes, that's it. Amazing. Now, you know what? Let's get straight into it. Because we don't want to delay. All right. So let's just share the screen. So on the screen here, we've got the MOODSWING version 2, which is what a lot of the people here on the call would have at the moment. So I'm just showing you what we have and what we've been working with, and then we'll reveal MOODSWING version 3, and I'm gonna teach you as well 2 strategies with version 3, one for scalping, one for intraday trading. If you're excited about that, just drop some fire emojis in the chat. All right. Yes. Let's go. So in our version 2, we have our our mood swing levels, as you could see marked off here. As you can see, it's really beautiful when the market is trending. Is really a trend trading tool. The market has picked up this gold here, for example. Gold is what we focus on quite a lot. So you can see here, it tapped to the mood swing level, it pulled back to the mood swing level here, pushed up. Next day, pulled back to the mood swing level here, price pushed up, pulled back to mood swing here of the previous day, just a little bit of drawdown, then continued pushing up. It's crazy how beautiful this thing actually works. But as you could see, in this version, it doesn't really give you your take profit targets. It doesn't give you a stop loss or anything like that. We have some other things in here as well. If we go to our settings, we could have put on, say, for example, the bulls if we wanted to go long and wait for the bull signals to come in before we jump into the market, all of that, right? Which is all well and good. But let's switch this off now, and let's reveal MOODSWING version 3, and I'm going to show you what the additions are. So let's delete that. I'm going to go to here, invite only, MOODSWING version 3. As you can see, it's actually MOODSWING version 3.4. Now, on face value, it probably looks the same, right? But a few things have changed and some additions have been made. A lot of people have been asking to change, they want to be able to change the color of the fair price level, right? This level right here, as you can see now, is purple, but you have the ability to change that to whatever color you want now in the mood swing tool. So if I go in here, right, and we scroll all the way down to fair price color, you can see that. If I switch that to, let's say it was this color before, right? If I click on that, then you could see, let's give it a moment to think, and it will, you see it change color, right? So we could change color to whatever we want. We could make it blue if we want, right? Right, so you have the ability now to change that fair price color. You know what? I'm gonna actually leave mine at blue. I like that. Okay, that fair price level. Okay, mood swing level is always green. If the prices are trending up, right? If it's trending up, you see it's green here. And then when the price is trending down or pulling back a little bit, it turns to red, right? As you could see here. Now, let me show you a scalping strategy, right? Scalping, it could turn to intraday if you want, for using the mood swing tool, right? If you are interested in learning a scalp, in fact, how many scalpers are in here? How many scalpers do we have in here? Just say I if you're a scalper, or type in I if you're a scalper. All right, we've got 1, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. All right. So if you're a scalper, I think you would really appreciate this strategy here. So one of the things that we've got in from the mood swing tool, right, is whenever we're trending upwards, right? Whenever we're trending upwards like this, we could see here that our mood swing scanner here gives us our very key pricing levels. And it shows as green. Okay, it shows as green. So that to us, when we open up the chart, we could think, well, all right, okay, well, we're trending upwards at the moment. Okay, notice when I'm scalping, I'm going down to a 15-minute time frame or even a 5-minute time frame, you know, whichever you like. And what I want you to do, or what we could do, is we could go to style here, and we could put on the bulls, right? When we start putting on the bulls, let's go here, right? And we've got our mood swing level showing as green. We want to switch on the bulls. And what you want to do is wait for the bulls to appear, right? And you get in for a scalp. Now, when you're scalping, I say you go for, I mean, this is gold, by the way, so this would move some serious pips, right? That alone is, you know, quite a significant number of pips. So with gold, you could scalp easily 30, 40, 50 pips. And here, what you want to do is you wait for your bulls to appear before you get into a scalp, and your stop loss will be below our mood swing level, right there. Right, your stop loss will be below your mood swing level. You're going in for a scalp for 30, 40, 50 pips as you wish, right? Once our mood swing level shows as green, and then we see our bulls come into the market here. This was what, last week, Wednesday. Again, another opportunity. Stop loss just beneath your mood swing level, and you're going in for You know, as soon as you get your bulls signal, then you go in, get in there for a nice, you know, that is, you know, that is some serious pips right there. Easy enough. Anybody want me to go through that again?
Does it work? Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Great. Thank you for showing this.
Sure.
Does it work as effectively if you're one that uses Heikin-Ashi candles?
Yeah, you could switch to Heiken-Ashi. Um, there we go. So yeah, same, pretty much. Yeah. So you can switch to Heiken-Ashi if you want, and the Heiken-Ashi will help to um, have less. I understand why you want to use Heiken-Ashi.
Less noise.
Yeah, that's it kills the noise. It kills the noise. So yeah, you could use Heiken-Ashi if you want. No problem there.
Thank you for showing that.
No probs. No probs. Okay, so let's look at something else. I mean, the same thing goes for, say, for example, bears. I'll leave the Heiken-Ashi on. So let's say we go to something like AUD JPY, for example. Okay. And we saw that the JPY got a lot of strength in the last 2 days of last week, on Thursday and on Friday. So again, you see our mood swing level here turns to red when the market starts trending downwards. See it here? So the market started turning, right? Initially, it was turning green. It was green, right? Trending up, green, 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 trending up. And then on this day, on Friday, it switched to red, right? Which is giving us the indication that the trend is starting to potentially change, right? So if we had the bulls on, then we could go into here and then switch the bulls off and switch the bears on. Now notice, I don't want to put both of them on at the same time, right? I just want to have one on and just trade in one direction. So I could switch it here, boom. And as you could see, right, in AUD JPY, price came up. It didn't come all the way up to the mood swing level. You know, at many times it hits the mood swing level and then drops. The bears came in. Again, we just put our stop loss just above our mood swing level here, and you go in for your scalping pips. Now, I mean, if you are using something like an average daily range, something like that, you could figure out what the average daily range of the AUD JPY is, for example. There are some tools, and I will share that with you. For those people in the community, I'll share the link with you, right? So stay tuned for that, where you could check out the average daily range of the different currencies. No, you don't have to leave the computer on, and this works on the TradingView app on your phone as well. All right, so this will work on your phone. If you have the TradingView app, it will work on your phone, so you don't need to leave the computer on whatsoever. Okay? Is that okay? It will show up, these bulls and bears will show up on your phone as well within the TradingView app. How do I know when the mood swing comes out? Oh, how do you know when the bears show up? That's what you're saying? Yes, so you could set an alert, right? So that's a good question. So you can literally right click here. You could do it on your phone as well, but you need to set your phone up so that it sends you emails or text or whatever like that. So Yes, it works really well for futures, actually. It works really well for futures. So if you are trading futures right here on TradingView, because there are many future brokers that allow you to trade on TradingView, it works really well for futures. All right. So I was going to show you how to set up an alert. Just right click, hit add alert here. Okay. The symbol that you want, no, sorry, that's your symbol. The condition that you want is actually the mood swing tool. So you click on that, mood swing version 3. And then depends on whether you have bulls or bears on. In this case, we have bears on. So we just click bears here. All right. And make sure that your chart, whatever chart that you're on, that's the chart that you will get the alert for. And once every bar or even once every minute, right? Once every minute, it'll literally just alert you every minute that there is, that there is a bulls, right? Or bears on your chart. And you could, it will alert you until you switch it off, basically. All right? Create. Oh, you were asking, when does this line appear? When does this mood swing line appear? This mood swing line will appear when the market closes, and then it will open up within an hour or two of the market opening up in the Asian session. The mood swing line will appear. All right.
And Coach, I got an observation
Sure.
concerning the appearance of that line within the first hour,
Yep.
right? What I've noticed also is that if you go down to the 15-minute
Yep.
or the 5-minute, it shows up even earlier. It doesn't wait for 1 hour to show up.
That's right, correct. So it depends on the time frame that you're on. So if you want to get or see it earlier, just go on a lower time frame. Okay, well, I'm showing you here now for this trade or this trade opportunity. When it pulls back, the mood swing is showing red, which is we're looking for a sell. Okay, we're looking for a sell. Then we switch our bears on and then wait until the bears give you an alert, right? The bears will give you an alert. That is your time to enter the market. Stop loss will just be above your mood swing level if you are going for a sell, right? Put your stop loss just above the mood swing level right here. So very, very easy. And then in terms of take profit targets, right? If you're scalping, then generally you're going for a 5, 10 pips, 15 pips, depending on which asset you are trading. All right. Okay. You could even decide, you know what, I'm going to use a previous mood swing level as a take profit target if you want to, but then you start to get more into intraday trading depending on how far away it is, right? Remember, I'm just showing you here a bit of a scalping strategy, right? But that is 80 pips down. That is more of an intraday type trade. Okay. Is that simple enough for you? I think that answers the question of when to get in, where to put your stop loss, where to take your profit, right? Yeah, go ahead.
I know a lot of people trade the futures.
Yes.
And they use the 1 minute time frame.
Yeah, go ahead.
What about the mood swing use for the
you
1 minute?
You could go down to any time frame you want, right? You could drop down to the 1 minute time frame if you want. Right? And as you see here, right? As we see, we were down below the mood swing level, which is the red line here. Put your bears on, right? And then it comes in, well, you've got a little bit of a pullback drawdown here. But again, your stop loss is just above the mood swing level. It hasn't come up, and then you're in. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Right? So once you lower your time frames, as Jody on here says, it really helps you to get in more accurate. It helps you with your timing for sure. It's fantastic for futures. I know that we have somebody here. I wonder if she's on the call. She's been trading the futures with the mood swing tool. And she came in on day one, and boom, she was in. Made profits on day one. All right. So that is a simple, straightforward strategy for scalping that anybody could use to start making some profits from day one. All good? So the keys is don't have both of them on at the same time. When I said both of them, I mean bulls and bears, right? We're checking to see what is our mood swing level saying. Is it showing green, right? In this case, it shows green. We want to buy the market. Now, one of the things that we got to be very careful about, right, is when the market starts extended, right? If it's really overextended, like it's really past this mood swing level by 100 pips or so, then you're a little bit late, right? Especially depending on what the daily average range of whatever pair that you're trading is. If the market is past that, then you don't have to trade that. Look for a different asset to trade, okay? You want to get something as close to the mood swing levels as possible, right? Before we enter the market. Look at this one. This was on a week before last week, Friday, when we started to see a turn in sentiment. We had a green mood swing level, and then if I put the bulls back on, right? We got the bulls, right? Again, your stop loss didn't need to be tight on that. Just
Coach, I'm sorry, I muted you instead of the person. Coach, can you unmute?
Yep. Hello. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I muted the wrong person. My apologies.
No problems. Thank you so much, Susan. Right. So you know that when you're a part of the community, we do focus a lot on the fundamentals, because fundamentals is what really drive the market in one direction or the next. This big move here, it wouldn't happen without some sort of fundamental event happening. Okay, that is what causes the big moves to happen. If nothing major is happening, that means nothing major fundamentally is happening. Okay, so we got to be aware of the fundamentals, because that helps us make a decision when we know what is pushing the market. It helps us make a decision as to how much more risk we're willing to take based on the information that we have. Okay, and that is what makes you a true trader. It's not just jumping on a chart and drawing some lines on a chart, and if it breaks a line, then it goes for a buy, because you're trading without understanding the reason why it's going in one direction or the next, right? And that doesn't necessarily help your risk management. And risk management is not only about limiting the amount of exposure that you have, but it's also about knowing when to expose yourself a bit more, right? Taking a bit more risk. Okay, so that's just something to be aware of. When you're part of the community, you know that we share a lot on the fundamentals, what is happening, and so forth and so forth. So this is something to keep in mind. All right. So what is the other thing that that we've added to the mix when it comes to the mood swing version 3. Now, this one is going to help you with more intraday trades or longer term trades, all right? More intraday trades or longer term trades. Let me just push this up. All right, so again, here we have our mood swing tool on, let's say for this example, we're going to use USD JPY right here. Price has dropped, price has broken, and then we get a bearish mood swing after a push to the upside. So it's giving us an indication that potentially we're going to see a pullback in the market. Now, one of the things that we added to the mood swing tool is this beauty here called Trade Mood Swing, right? Trade the mood swing level. Pretty much what you're doing is you're going to be taking a trade off of the mood swing level. Now, one of the things that you have to do here first before you put this on is set your stop loss sizes essentially, right? So in this case, this is 50 pips. Now, all of this is in pipettes, by the way, okay? This is in pipettes. So here we've got 500 pipettes, which is 50 pips for lower risk. We've got a medium risk at 40 pips or 400 pipettes, and a higher risk, just a smaller stop loss essentially, at 30 pips or 300 pipettes. Now I'm going to just set this to low, but you could choose whichever you want. You could choose a medium or high risk if you want. We're going to set it to low, and we're going to switch it on. Oh, we also have a sweet spot here, and this sweet spot is about, at the moment, it's set to 20 pips. So it gives you, like say, for example, in that AUD JPY example, it didn't come all the way up to the mood swing level, but it would have come to the sweet spot level and then dropped off, right? So if it's within the sweet spot, and you want to execute, then why not? Let's switch this on and let's see what happens when we are on a low risk at 50 pip stop loss. Okay. So boom, what happens is that this trade setup shows up. You get a 50 pip stop loss right here, and it tells you the stop loss value. Okay. Then it gives you your entry price. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Let me go to a bigger time frame. All right. It gives you your entry price right there. You could see it there. There we go. It gives you your entry price. And then it gives you several take profit targets. Now, let me go back to the settings here. You could set how many take profit targets you want. At the moment, it's set to 5. But you could say, all right, I just want 3 take profit targets, for example, and it will update to suit. Right, so you see it switches there to 3 take profit targets. You could say I want 10 take profit targets, but this is intraday trading, so 3 to 5 should be good enough, but you could switch it to 10 if you want. And when you do that, it will just update to 10 take profit targets. It will give you the value of what those profit targets are. Now, let me give you a rundown of what these profit targets truly are. So based on your stop loss, this first one is a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Second one is a 1-to-2. Third one is a 1-to-3, 1-to-4, 1-to-5, 1-to-6, and so forth and so forth and so forth, right? So it will calculate all of that, right? It will calculate all of that based on your stop loss size. If you're excited about that, drop some fire emojis in the chat. All right. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful. Yes, you could switch. You could switch to whichever candles you want, right? Whatever you want, right? So right now we could just switch to a normal candle, and we could switch back to a normal candle right here. There's no issues there whatsoever. Okay. You could switch to the Heiken-Ashi. I actually do appreciate the Heiken-Ashi quite a lot. The noise is taken off. You could switch to Renko if you want. Right? Look at that. Renko is so beautiful. I mean, Renko really takes out the noise. If you think Heiken-Ashi takes out the noise, Renko really takes out the noise. You could switch to, all sorts. Whichever floats your boat, you have a lot of flexibility, right? So I wanted to give you guys as much flexibility as possible, but still, have something that you could work with. Cool. So there we go, right? We had a beautiful entry to the mood swing level on USD JPY. Have your nice little setup right there, and there you go. Now, if you have this on, right? Once you have that on, every day it will show you the new setup for that particular day. Now, if price, for example, pushes up and breaks this level, once it closes above the level on the time frame that you're on, then the trade setup will switch, right? So it will switch from a sell, and then it will switch to a buy, okay? And it will give you the levels and the stuff to plug into your broker. Okay. So this is more of a intraday type trading. If you're following the fundamentals and you really understand how and when the market is going to push to the upside based on strengths coming into different currencies and all that, then this will definitely work well for you. If not, you could just stick to the scalping strategy. Go in here, take it off, right? All right, what is the sweet spot used for again? So let me switch this to the AUD JPY chart, for example. So let's go back to AUD JPY. I'm using IC markets. I just like IC markets data feed. So let's delete this, and let me put on the sweet spot here for a minute. Put this trade setup on, and we have the sweet spot on. Now notice, I give it a moment. Notice that, well, let me go to a bigger time frame. Notice that the price did not come all the way up to the mood swing level, right? It didn't come all the way up to the mood swing level. However, it came into the sweet spot zone, right? You notice that? So once price comes into the sweet spot zone, then you could decide, right, I'm going to execute, because you really want to execute right on the mood swing line if you can, because that will give you a really perfect entry. But sometimes it just doesn't always pull back. So sometimes it just comes into the sweet spot, a sweet spot zone, and that will give you your, you could take the trade, right? Sometimes it might be a little bit early or whatever, but within that sweet spot, that's the zone. So that's what the sweet spot is for. So again, this is more for intraday type trading. But if you don't want to do intraday trading, you could just switch that off. Right? You don't need to have it on, and then turn on your bears in this situation. Right? The sweet spot will appear whenever you put this trade setup thing on. That sweet spot will always be there. You could just change the value of it. So let's say we have a sweet spot of 10 pips, for example, All right, remember this is pipettes, so we just update that to 10. The sweet spot will just get a little bit smaller. See that? Just get smaller right there. Or you could change it to a bigger value if you want. So instead of 30 pips, 20 pips, you could say, all right, I want it at 30 pips, right? So again, you have a lot of flexibility here with this. You see that? It changes for you. Cool? Is that okay? Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, okay, question. Which pip settings do you recommend personally use for stop loss? Now, this depends on the asset that you're trading and what the volatility is and the daily range is, right? So for gold, all right, so if we're doing it for gold, then I definitely recommend a lower risk of, I say, 100 pips stop loss, right? For lower risk, for 70 pip for medium, and 50 pips for high. That's for gold, right? Because gold is very, very volatile. But for Forex pairs, you want to lower that a bit. But it depends on the Forex pair that you are dealing with. What I'm going to do is within the community, I will share the average daily range of the different currency pairs so that you get an idea of what those ranges are. So that gives you the ability to set a good average daily range. But like, for example, this is really a setting for gold, but look at it on AUD/JPY. I mean, that is huge in terms of a stop loss. That is like way too big. So we just need to change that, tweak that a bit. Pretty much half the size, which it was before. Okay? Is that okay? That's it. Easy. So who is going to be using the scalping strategy? Just say I or type I. What I would say is if you are scalping, you really don't want to be greedy, all right? Do not be greedy at all. Make sure you use your stop losses. And when you hit your profit targets, your 10 pips, 15 pips, whatever, get out. A little bit more for gold. A little bit more for gold. Gold will give you good 40, 50, 60 pips scalping. So I love gold, right? So we're not gonna get into any details of fundamental analysis right now. You know, Sundays we do that. We look at the market. In fact, here's what. Let's quickly look and see what's coming up this week. We were supposed to have non-farm payroll, but there is a sweet spot should be 30, could be 30 pips for gold is fine. There was supposed to be non-farm payroll, but there was a shutdown, or there's a shutdown of the government at the moment, and the information is not being released. So hopefully, if things get back on track, we will see some movement on non-farm payroll. But yeah, once the government is shut down in the US, we're not gonna get that data just yet. Anyways, this week coming up, we do have a national holiday for Japan, so that's very important to note. So the Japanese yen pairs may not move as well as we would anticipate on Monday. Okay, but this week we do have inflation rate coming up on Wednesday for the US. That is huge, very important news. GDP for the pound, that's very important news as well for the pound. Columbus Bank Holiday, is that in the US? Is that tomorrow? Yeah, okay. Holiday tomorrow in the US as well. So interesting times ahead. So anyways, people may want to know, how do we update this thing? Now, if you have MOODSWING version 2 already, if you're subscribed to it, you should see something here that tells you, hey, there's a new update. I think it is just like a circle with some arrows, 2 arrows in a circular motion. Just click on it, and then you should be able to, it will just update to MOODSWING version 3.4, right? If you don't see that circle, but you have access to MOODSWING 2, just delete it, right? Just delete it off of your screen, delete it. Go to your username here, sign out, right? Sign out, totally sign out, sign back in, right? And then what you want to do is go back to indicators, go to invite only indicators, and then you would see MOODSWING version 3.4, right? You would see that there, just click on it, and it will show up on your screen, right?
Question, Coach.
Yes, sir.
When we remove the version 2, when we
Yeah.
put on the version 3, right?
Yep.
Would that totally eliminate the version 2? Well, I'm
Yes.
trying to figure out if version 2 will still be inside of the system.
No, it will totally eliminate version 2. It'll be gone.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be gone. But you have everything from version 2 and version 3. And then you've got the additions of the trade setups and all that as well. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Cool. Okay. Everybody happy with that? Now, are there a few people out there who wants to get access? Anybody in here who wants to get access to the MOODSWING tool? If you don't have access, anybody wants to get access to it, we've got
Yes.
a link right here for you. And we're going to give you a special discount today as well, 20% discount today using the discount code FRIEND. All right, let me get you the link. I'll drop the link into the chat. You do that today. There's one thing that you need to do, which is very, very important. At the confirmation page, do not close the confirmation page. There are 2 links that you would need to click on to be able to get into the private and exclusive groups. You have to click on those links to get into the private and exclusive group. Okay. So, sorry. I'm sending the link to waiting room participants. Hold on a minute. There we go. All right. And the discount code, 20% off for today only, is FRIEND, right? If you have access to it, you're subscribed, you're up to date, you don't have to deal with this, okay? You just update your software to suit. Just update the software to suit. All right. For those of you who are new, who wants to have access tonight, that's your link to get in on the action. All right. Interesting times ahead in terms of what is happening in the world right now with the ceasefire in Gaza, Israel. So we should start seeing some interesting stuff happening in the markets. Okay. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to update this my fair price line to blue. I just like that blue. Blue's looking good. That's my fair price line right now. Okay. Some of you may be seeing this red areas right here. What is the fair price? The fair price line is the price that has been traded the most volume on this particular day. Right? The price that's traded the most volume on this particular day. That's the fair price line. No problem. Yeah, so the price that you have through this link is the price just for the tool. But once you get in on the tool, you also get access to the trade setups. You get access to the trade setups group. You get access to there's a scalping tool that we have as well on TradingView. We get access to that as well. Yeah, fair price level, it could potentially be good levels for entry as well. Okay, yeah, I was saying you may notice this little red box right here. This is our fair value gaps, which we could switch on and off within the tool here itself. So those people who are familiar with smart money concepts, right? You see our fair value gap right here. We could switch that on and off. It's on at the moment. But if I switch it, there you see it's all disappeared. We could switch it back on. It shows the fair value gaps in the markets. You know, those are areas that we could use for taking trades as well, right? It will show you bullish and bearish fair value gaps. You could switch the color up if you want, but generally these colors work fine. Right? There's so much in the tool. If you're trading smart money concepts, you could switch on you know, previous highs, previous lows, equal highs, equal lows, things like that. You know, all of those things come in handy when you looking at smart money concepts. But you know, we want to keep things as simple and as straightforward as we possibly can. Right? So get in on the action. Welcome, everybody.
Coach, I got one more question.
Yep, sure, no problem.
Yeah, the question has to do with the bulls and the longs and the bears and the shorts. Now you're saying when the trade is going, let's say the trade is moving upwards, right? I'm seeing that you keep putting on the bulls, right?
Yep.
When the trade is bearish, you're putting on the bears. Okay, so my question is,
go ahead.
What's the difference between putting on just the bulls along with the long as well, and vice versa, putting on the bears along with the short?
All right, so that's a good question. Okay, so let's go back and see what the difference is in these. You don't get an alert for the sweet spots. You don't get an alert for the sweet spots, unfortunately. You'll get alert for, but what you can do, all right? What you can do, you could actually create an alert for it, to be fair. You could actually create an alert for it, but let me show you what to do. Sean, I haven't forgotten you. And let me just deal with this one first.
Okay, no problem.
So what you can do is you could, once you've got the sweet spot area highlighted, you could put a line here, right? You could even give it the color of the sweet spot if you want. Put a line here. And then just set an alert on that line. See it? And that's it. So essentially, you actually can create an alert. Does that help? Yeah, sorted. Up there for thinking, eh? Easy peasy. Right, so Sean, let's talk about this. Let's talk about the difference between the shorts and the bears, right? Go down to a smaller time frame. So in this case, okay, we have our mood swing giving us a red for a potential reversal. So we're looking for shorts. Okay, we're looking for selling opportunities. So we could come in here. Let's put on the shorts. Let's put on the bears. Right? Now, the beauty about the shorts is pretty much confirming that we are below the mood swing level, right? Notice here, when we are above the mood swing level, even though shorts are on, you notice shorts doesn't show up. You notice that? Shorts doesn't show up when the mood swing level is green. Bears do, but shorts doesn't. So in fact, Sean, you could actually just decide, you know what? I'm just gonna put my shorts on, not your trousers, but you know, shorts, on when the mood swing level is showing red, right? Or you can decide, you know what? I'm just gonna put the longs on when the mood swing level is green, right? You could do that if you want. That works. That works. The only issue you would have is let's put the bears on now. Let me take that. Let me put the bears on. Well, I mean, the reality is that you don't really have that much of an issue. So the shorts actually work, and you would probably get in even faster. Okay.
Okay.
But just note that whenever it's trending up, once prices above these mood swing levels, the shorts you'll never see shorts, right?
Okay.
Okay. Right. Yes, that's right. The thing with the bulls and bears is that you would get more signals coming in into the market. So say for example, you missed a signal on a bears here, for example, then you might be able to get another one, right? It depends on how the market is moving. If we switch this off and let's go back to the bulls and the longs here, it really depends on how the market is moving. In this case, we have the bulls and the longs here together, and that's fine. That's all well and good. You could go to longs, do the longs here. Once you notice, once the market changes from trending upwards, mood swing level is going up. Once it changes, the longs will never show up, right? So in fact, what you could actually do is actually have the bulls and the longs on together, right? And that will give you this kind of extra confirmation that, right?
Coach, that is exactly what I was getting at.
Right, yeah.
Is it an extra
Yeah, you could
confirmation?
get this extra confirmation that, all right, but the reality is that it really only shows up once it's above the green mood swing level there anyways. So you could look at the mood swing level and say, all right, well, we supposed to be going long here, or you could just switch your longs on. Either way, whichever works best for you.
Okay, thank you.
No problems. But that's a good question, Sean. Good observation.
Yes, sir.
All right, so another question. The green and red lines are discounted and premium zones on version 3. The green and, are you talking about these levels? These ones here? These levels here, Julia? These are just the normal mood swing levels as from version 2. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed here. These are just the normal mood swing levels. So these are key mood swing levels, right? Nothing has changed there. Key mood swing levels that we always had from version 1, right? That has never changed. Right. Okay. Supply and demand zones. I'm happy you asked, right? We actually do have the ability to switch on supply and demand zones in the tool here as well, okay? So if we click on our settings, right, and we want to go to our inputs, if we come down to show internal order blocks, right? Internal order blocks here. This will switch on our supply and demand zones. We could even switch on the swing order blocks here as well. And we could okay that. And what we'll see here is we will see our supply and demand zones in green. I'm sorry, in blue and red. They're showing here, right? So these are just key pricing levels that we could switch on here with the tool as well. So thanks for showing that as well. There's a lot to it. I don't want to overwhelm people too much. There is a lot to it. So again, if you want to see those key supply and demand zones, beautiful. You could switch them on and off, okay? Let's go to something like, I don't know, GBP. Hey, GBP USD dropped off nicely for us last week. Let's put that on. Yeah, so you see we were selling from way up here. Again, it had a beautiful supply and demand zone marked off right here. But again, we had a mood swing level. You could see the mood swing levels marked off, boom, and it's dropped, it's come back, or it's come back up. It didn't come all the way to the mood swing level, but it was in the sweet spot, dropped off, had a pullback, dropped off, right? Pull back into the supply and demand zones, dropped off. So again, beautiful movement. For some reason, the US decided that it's going to strengthen even though that there was a shutdown. It's all cool, right? Oh, and one other thing, when you get started, when you get connected, I'm gonna give you access to these indexes here. So these are the indexes for all the major currency pairs that we're trading. So it's always good to check out these indexes and have the supply and demand on, because if we had the US index on, you could see here, I've marked off where our supply and demand zone is, and we're looking for the US to pull back and push up, and that's exactly what happened. That's why we could catch that trade for the sell on GBP USD last week, because we have the indexes with our supply and demand zones marked off. So you're going to get access to that as well when you get started. So don't cheat yourself out of all this goodness. Yes, we will upload this recording for sure so that you could recap. All right.
Coach, I'm already in it, but I don't have the index.
I posted it in the group this week, Sean. If not, I'll just repost it. I'll repost it again. If you missed it, I'll repost it. Okay.
Yeah, appreciate it.
No problem. Right. So welcome one and all. Welcome to those who have gotten started this evening. I'm super excited for you because this is going to be a beautiful journey. You're going to really understand why things move the way they do, not just a matter of taking a trade because you get a signal. All right. Let's see. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up there for the minute. And then we would potentially do a call maybe Tuesday night as well to check out the fundamentals, see what's happening fundamentally in the market. But I know tonight is for everybody to update their software, for people to get in, who hasn't gotten started yet, to get yourself going, right? I'll stop the recording and then give you guys a chance to get going as well.